March 9th has witnessed many significant historical events over the centuries. From political milestones to cultural achievements, here are 10 notable events that occurred on this day. On March 9, 1497, Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama set sail from Lisbon, Portugal, with a fleet of 4 ships to find a sea route to India. His voyage marked the beginning of a new era of European expansion and colonization. On March 9, 1796, Napoleon Bonaparte married Josephine de Beauharnais, a widow and socialite. The marriage proved to be a tumultuous one, but it helped cement Napoleon's position in French society and politics. On March 9, 1841, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Amistad mutineers, a group of enslaved Africans who had taken control of a Spanish slave ship and were later arrested and charged with mutiny and murder. The court's decision declared that the mutineers were not property but were instead free individuals who had been wrongfully enslaved. On March 9, 1862, the USS Monitor and the CSS Virginia, formerly the USS Merrimack, engaged in a historic naval battle during the American Civil War. The battle marked the first time that 2 ironclad warships had engaged each other in combat, and it revolutionized naval warfare. On March 9, 1916, Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa led a raid on the border town of Columbus, New Mexico, killing 18 Americans and causing a diplomatic crisis between the U.S. and Mexico. The raid is widely considered to be one of the last acts of aggression in the Mexican Revolution. On March 9, 1959, the Barbie doll was introduced at the American International Toy Fair in New York City. The doll, which was created by Ruth Handler and named after her daughter Barbara, became an instant sensation and has since become a cultural icon. On March 9, 1961, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 9, which carried a dog named Chernushka into orbit. The mission was a precursor to Yuri Gagarin's historic flight a month later, when he became the first human to travel into space. On March 9, 1997, rapper Christopher Wallace, better known as the Notorious B.I.G., was shot and killed in Los Angeles, California. His death remains unsolved, and it marked a tragic end to one of the most influential and successful careers in hip-hop history. On March 9, 2011, protests broke out in the southern Syrian city of Dara, marking the beginning of the Syrian civil war. The protests were part of the wider Arab Spring movement that had already led to the overthrow of governments in Tunisia and Egypt. On March 9, 2020, Italy became the first country in Europe to announce a nationwide lockdown in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The lockdown, which was initially supposed to last until April 3, marked a turning point in the global response